Oh yeah.
Do we have the Widows or whatever, the Hot Widows
Yeah.
podcast?
8:45.
Oh,
So
okay.
2 hours. We'll be done by then.
Okay. Hot Widows. It sounds like a. It sounds like a
You guys
Girls
are
Gone
live.
Wild. It sounds like a Girls Gone Wild video, like whatever.
Dude, remember Tommy?
You don't think?
Remember Tommy DeFries?
Yeah.
So we were at the RC Pro Series finals. I think it was like 2005 in Texas, and you could rent a horse bay as a pit, and you could lock it, so you could leave all your stuff there and just lock it, and they had security and stuff. Anyways, I go off to do something, and I had my laptop with me, and I brought some movies like I always used to do, and I come back, and he had grabbed a Girls Gone Wild video from somebody else, put it in my laptop, and just put it on play. So every single person that walked by our pit would see that in my pit was a Girls Gone Wild video playing on my laptop. And I came back and I was freaked out because I was sponsored by Team Associated. That's a bad look. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And I took that disc out right away. I'm like, where does this go? Whose is this? Why would we do that?
Should I just like break it in half or something?
Yeah.
Did Brent see it?
No, I don't.
What did Brent say?
I don't think Brent was there.
Oh,
I don't think Brent was there. This was this was the arena races before they were cool.
Oh, I got you.
So there was a buttload of people at that race, but it was RC Pro Series. It was a different crowd, so I guess nothing really occurred of it. But boy, did I freak out. I was like, no way.
Yeah, everybody probably thought it was funny.
Oh, probably. Yeah, as I was saying, Gretchen and I had the day off, but we went and bought some T-shirts, so I had some clothes for this coming up week.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a Kohl's like a discount, so I got two shirts at Kohl's for like $4. It was awesome. And then I came home, and then I started to get like a headache, and my neck was getting like really tight. So then I just basically did nothing, and I don't really remember much of yesterday. The RC hangover is real.
Yeah. I used to sit in the chair all day on Sunday. I even made Aaron go get lunch.
Nice.
It's like, you're going. I'm not going anywhere. Just gonna sit in the chair.
What was I gonna say? I rode here.
Oh, nice. I bet that's nice, but going home it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold. I wore pants and I wore a sweatshirt today, so I'm prepared. So it won't be terrible. And I got my gloves. So, but I'm gonna ride that thing until it's just intolerable. So I save gas because,
I think I'm gonna sell my Zuma.
Really?
Yeah, like ever since I laid it down that one time, it's like, this thing's cool and all, but it's kind of ridiculous. So if anybody's listening and they want to buy a Zuma, it's all tricked out. Let me know.
Dude,
I'm gonna get something else.
I love my scooter.
Yeah.
I've rode it because of the drought. I've rode it a lot this summer. Saved a lot of money on gas.
Oh yeah.
It's exactly how I thought it would go. Because I'm at 1,360 miles now on my bike since April, and that's 1,360 miles that I didn't put on my truck.
Yeah. No, it all adds up. I'm gonna get something else, but I think I just want to get like an actual motorcycle.
Yeah. Dude, to be honest with you, now that I've been riding that, I've been eyeballing actual motorcycles myself.
Yeah.
So, which Emerson's always happy about whenever I talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Will, how much are you going to sell that Zuma for?
Oh, I don't know.
you may have a buyer.
1,500, 2,000, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Is that too much?
It's fast.
Yeah.
And it's loud. Nobody will miss you. when you go down the street. Or like on mine's really quiet, so I'm always real leery about approaching corners and stuff. And I can't do the rev thing. I got to use my horn. I got to get used to using my horn.
Mm-hmm.
My horn's really loud, but I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. I mean, you want to buy it, Rich?
Maybe.
Yeah, then we can all scooter gang again.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
I want to get another one and build it up. That's why I have more fun doing that than anything. But
well, there we go.
should we officially start the show?
You want to start the show? Okay, we'll start the show. Hey,
let's start the show.
Start the show. Hey, everybody. This is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex, and with me, as always,
Will Brinton.
And today, we're going to talk about our Team Associated Reedy Summer Series Finals. We might chat about the upcoming INS race at Hoosier RC in Indiana that a lot of our locals are going to. And apparently, it's going to be like the epicenter of RC with as many entries as they have. All the classes are pretty stacked. I don't know. That's about it. There's nothing really crazy new to talk about, or no big race yet until after next week, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the next 8 scale race isn't until AMS.
Yeah.
So kind of nice, kind of quiet.
I suppose. Yeah, I haven't decided what I'm going to do this winter. Like, everybody asked me if I'm going to race carpet, and I kind of want to. And then part of me is like, maybe let's come up on Friday nights.
Yeah, my plan is to race Friday nights, probably with my 13.5 4-wheel drive car, though, because all my electronics and my 2-wheel will be in my carpet car until we switch it back for hobby action.
Nice.
So, and I was going to look up your flights when I got here, and then we started talking about my family stuff, so I kind of
that's fine.
I got sidetracked again.
Yeah. We'll get it one of these days.
We'll get it figured out. This show, as always, brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. Mention our show to Don Zoller or Aiden Olson's dad, and get yourself a 0.125 interest rate reduction or $500 letter credit off of your home loan or refinance. You'll be hearing from them coming up, I think, at some point today. I think we just get right into it.
Yeah, why not?
No reason to lollygaggle. Is that an actual
whatever
word?
that is. I don't think it is.
Yeah, damn it.
That's
I had a
okay.
really weird dream last night. You want to hear it before we get started?
Of course. Was I in it?
Not this time.
Yeah.
Which, when I tell you what it's going to be, I can't believe I'm going to say this on air. Don't take this the wrong way, people, but there's a point to it. So I slept super hard. I stayed up till like 3:34 a.m. Actually, it was past 4 because Gretchen gets up at 4 to go to work. So I was still awake. So I went to sleep pretty soon after that. But I was having a dream, and I had to be at work at 10. I worked today because I'm taking the rest of the week off for the INS race that we're going to on Wednesday, right? So I don't normally work on Mondays. Usually Mondays I sleep in till whenever I feel like getting up. Today, had to be there at 10. So I'm having this dream, and it's a mishmash of things. I'm in a bar with a bunch of dudes dancing around, and I've had to go to the bathroom multiple times, and one of the bathrooms is, hey, there's a cool cat, is this giant tube that can only fit one person. And you like get into it, and then you close the tube like this, and then you have to turn around, and that's when you pee. But it can only fit one person, okay? Really uncomfortable. So I'm going to that bathroom, and somebody yells out, hey, the other bathrooms are better. And I'm like, okay. And so I go to the other bathroom. Then, as I'm going to that bathroom, I see Logan Prismanis' dad walking towards me, okay? And I'm like, I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, I came here to get my parts. And I was like, your parts? Like, this is a bar. And he's like, no, it's a hobby shop. Look. And then he shows me on his phone the part that he needs. And he ordered it like 20 years ago and still hasn't gotten it yet. And it shows in stock in store. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, let me go try to find it. So then I started doing what we always do. You know, you go to the computer and you go, where the hell is this at? You know, and you're trying to find it, you're trying to figure out when it actually showed up. Did it show up in 2004? Did it show up last week? And I go to look for it. And sure enough, there it is. And so I'm turning around, I'm like, hey, I found it. And then something happened, and I don't remember this part. I just remember the feeling of me in my dream going, oh shit, what time is it? And then I open my eyes, I wake up and I look over and it's 10:07. And I'm like, ah! And so I freak out and I get undressed. I go in the bathroom real quick and brush my teeth and like mess with my hair and in record time. And then I was going to ride my bike to work today, but because I was so late, I'm like, well, you know what? I better drive my truck. My truck's on empty because I didn't want to put any gas in it. So then I'm like, I hope I make it. And so I super sped to work until I got stuck behind this one semi truck, but whatever. But anyways, so I got to the store at like 10:20. So, but luckily Jeff was there today as well. It's his one day that he works at the Plex, and he had opened up the store. So nothing really bad came from it other than me being about 20 minutes late.
That's good. I always have dreams I have to go back to high school because like I didn't finish or something. And I finished high school, but
that's a good one.
Those are always the dreams that I always have. Like, do you ever have dreams like that?
I have reoccurring dreams. I've had them for a while, for a long time, and it's weird whenever they actually like pop up again. Oh, look at him. But one of my weird dreams is that I've killed somebody and I've buried them in the basement of my house and I've re-cemented everything, and then a detective comes and like pokes around and finds like the opening to this newly cemented hole and starts digging around in there, and then I get all like pent up with anxiety and stuff that I'm going to get discovered. That's a dark dream, but I've had that one before.
Yeah.
I haven't actually killed anybody, obviously.
Really?
That I know of.
Nice.
Yeah. Steve RC just dropped a $5 super chat. Thanks for your help this weekend, both of you. Would the RB10 be good for carpet, or I might try to sell it and get something else? Don't put that RB10 on carpet. You won't like it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
The RB10's a basher, or what I'm going to use it for the Enduro.
Yeah.
You won't like that car on carpet. It's not meant for carpet. A rear motor car like that, and it's really heavy on carpet? Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that, Steve. You don't want to run that on carpet.
I would find anything other. Well, I mean, you're obviously going to want to get a B6 of some kind. You could probably get a 2, 3, or 4. It'd be fine for you.
Yeah, I think these guys that are running 21.5, it'd be easy to pick up a cheap used 0.1, 0.2, even a 0. Even a regular B63 min motor car would be fine for 21.5 carpet. I wouldn't want to race one of those in mod anymore just because the new cars are better. You know?
Yeah.
He looks like he's calmed down a little bit.
Aries?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. He's like, oh, yeah.
Anyways, let's get to the race. Team Associated Summer Series Finals. We kind of knew going in that some of the classes kind of had already been kind of figured out. There was a little bit of drama in, when I say drama, not bad drama, but just it was not officially determined yet for 2-wheel drive mod and 4-wheel drive mod. And I think that was about it. I think the rest of the classes were kind of, the winners at least were determined, but there was a lot of lower position battles that were pretty tight. We had 100 and something entries. I'm getting to it right now if it'll let me. Where are we at? There we are. Let's see what we had here. Ooh, that's long. So we had 188 entries, 100 drivers. I did take out a couple people at the end, so we actually had a few more than that. But a couple new plexers didn't realize how long the day was supposed to be, and they left pretty early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had the biggest class was 13.5 four-wheel drive, I believe, with 40 cars. And next year I am going to split that up. Now that INS is doing it, I'm going to split that up between independent and expert.
Oh, really?
But we're going to combine the names for the car.
Oh.
Just because it's I can't ask Team Associated for any more cars. I'm not even sure if they give me any more than what we already get. Oh, real quick. Nope, Will's not going to this one. He's going to Arizona, but not this one. Somebody was asking if you were going to go.
Oh, who is that?
Tom Baker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not going to make.
He wants to. I'm trying really hard not to rub it in. That's all.
Yeah, I'm actually it looks really cool and all.
You're kind of happy you're not going.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm happy that I don't really have. I mean, I like the Win truck. I may not have to go if things worked out, and it may not matter if I did go. So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day, all 3 days, all 4 days, like just long. I don't even know how much practice we're going to get on practice day. I wish they would do it by heats.
Yeah, just set heats up.
Because then you would they already did set heats up, so I feel like it'd be nice to just do it that way. Then it's fair and even, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, with that many people there, you're going to have a line out the door to practice, and it's going to be ridiculous. And you're going to have to wait in line for 4 hours to practice. Not actually, but it's going to feel like it. And once you get up there, you're going to have people holding radios and lines, and that's going to be a thing. And a race that big, it's bigger than the Nats.
Yeah.
Well, you should set up heats.
They specifically said not to do that in their post.
Yeah.
Whether they'll enforce it, I hope they will. But
what do they do? Just kick people out of line?
I don't know, but it said you can't hold radios.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's good.
Hopefully that gets enforced.
I hate that, but one time I did that for Jackson at our track, and everybody complained.
I went to the Masters of Dirt, and there was 380 something entries, and I didn't. It's weird at that race, the line was never that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. It was weird.
That, or they should have 3-minute heats or 3-minute practice sessions or something.
Well, yeah. I wonder if breaking in tires is even going to be a necessity.
I don't think it's going to be as big a deal as everybody thinks it might be.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to use Arm 2 foams. You're going to use the hardest foams there are. So you're going to want hard foams. And the tire is going to wear in faster because of the hard foam. It's going to drive it into the track harder.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Maybe you probably just bolt them on and run them.
I hope so. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. So, all right. Well, let's get into results, and then we'll talk about the points and everything else. We'll wrap it up. Little history first. This is 2022, so we've been doing the Summer Series since 2005. And back then, it was 5 classes. There was gas truck, 8 scale, Truggy, monster truck, Plex spec, and I think it was stadium truck or buggy. I don't even remember, but it's grown. But when we were first at the track, it was only 5 classes, and it was mostly nitro. And then we split it up into separate days. We used to have the electric racing on Saturday and the nitro racing on Sunday for the Summer Series. because the electric classes would get the not blown out track, and then you could blow it out on Sunday with the nitro cars. That really was a lot of fun. Worked out really well when we were outside, and then we went inside. We tried to do a summer series inside for the nitro side of things. Didn't work out, so it's pretty much been electric ever since 2013. And Team Associated has sponsored it since 2014. So 8 years now of Team Associated and Reedy Power being our title sponsor for the summer series. And it's gotten bigger and bigger every year. I think if you look at it, I think this year and last year were the biggest turnouts we've ever had on a consistent basis. And it drops off a little bit. You know, some guys kind of figure they're out of the points, so they stop coming, or it's just a sporadic thing. But
come for the points, stay for the prizes.
Yeah, exactly. Plex Spec Beginner. This has a storied history of having some cool dudes win Plex Spec, and then you're not allowed to race Plex Spec anymore. And this season, Grayson Stevie took the Plex Spec title in 4 rounds, the first 4.
Nice.
And since he didn't have had to race the last one, he used the last one to race independent buggy and get a taste of what he's going to get this coming up winter and next year. So that kind of left it open to battle for the other positions. And it was Ryan Nemec finally getting that TQ and win. He TQ'd last round and had a really bad race and ended up far down in the pack. Alex Eichler qualified 3rd and finished 2nd, and he had the lead for a little bit in this one as well. Bentley Ratty, same thing. He was 2, finished 3rd, so Alex and Bentley swapped, and he had a little taste of the lead for a little bit. And then Isabella McMullen had a really good race. She qualified 5th, finished 4th, and actually beat Ariana Smith. Ariana Smith had won the last 3 Plex Spec days on Friday nights. So I was thinking, well, maybe Ariana could get in there. But actually, Isabella finished in front of her. Then we had a new person, Tad Davidson. I believe they came over from the Des Moines area. They bumped up from the B main and Plex and finished 6th. They only made 1 round of qualifying and had to race up from the B.
They were the guys running the B5s?
Yeah, the B5M. Yep.
I saw that. I was like, hell yeah.
Emily Bagley was 7th in this one. Levi Voth was 8th. Jamison Conrad was 9th, the other bumper. And then Stella Murillo made, I believe, all A mains this year. Finished 10th. And then Craig Davidson was the other one, and he finished 11th. I think I took 11 because there was 20. There might have been 19 or 20 guys instead of having a C main with like 3 cars in it. We kind of made it work. So good Plex Spec year. We actually finished the last 2 rounds with more than we started with. So that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I can hear it purr.
Yeah, I've tried to put the microphone like right up next to him.
I had the lizard out all day yesterday with me too, as I was sitting there with a headache. I even wrapped her up in a blanket. She loved it. She fell asleep. It was great.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her because she's like she's always I don't know.
My arms are tired.
Anyways,
I'm gonna put you down. There you go.
Did he jump back
There
up?
we go. No, he was hanging on for dear life.
So next up was Stadium Truck, and you had already won. You got a perfect score this year. TQ and won all 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And you fought him off. I think Nate Sutherland was there for a round with Truck. I think Riley was too.
Mm-hmm.
Emerson and Tommy, of course, gave you close races, but you withstood everything. Didn't need to run the last one, so you didn't let these guys battle it out. Poor Emerson, dude. He TQ'd. He worked on his truck. I made him rebuild his whole truck a couple weeks ago, and his stuff looked really good. He had fast lap of the race, a 26.3. But at some point, I think it was lap 5. Yeah, it shows lap 5. He popped a ball cup. He like got wonky on the tabletop in the middle of the oval, landed funny, and then his truck popped off a ball cup. And then I was like, dude, don't do that anymore. Like he drove it to where the smallest PlexBet kid was. I think it was Bentley. And like Bentley's not going to put on your ball stud, dude. Levi was like right there when he did it. And if he would have drove it to Levi and could have gotten that back on, I think things could have been a lot different. But he was pretty rattled because he was second in the points, and both Tommy and Brian weren't not that far back. And then he didn't have a round to give because last round he went to a car show in West Point, Nebraska. So that stunk. But Tommy Smith was there to take advantage and got a win in truck, and that gave him second overall. And Brian Burnt was there to get second, and he ended up third overall. Then Andrew Thomas had a really good finish, finished on the podium. David Fast was fourth. Brian Cox was fifth. Tyler Fleming was sixth. Emerson finished seventh. He wasn't sixth, and he was trying to make a pass on fifth, but it was not meant to be. He actually ran into Tyler and like put him in the pipe, so he waited. So again, pretty proud of my son because he could have just went, and I would have told him to stop anyways, but I didn't have to. He pulled over and let Tyler get going again, and then that let Brian Cox get in front of both of them. So TJ Williams was eighth. I think TJ probably had worse luck this year than Emerson did. He's always had a fast truck. Justin Stevie was ninth, and Connor Herrick was 10th. And then Mod 4-Wheel was right after that, and this one was pretty cool at the end. Alex, so here's how the mod classes happened. Alex and Drew were separated only by like 2 points. So maybe it was 3, whatever it was. I think it was 2. It was short. If Drew could somehow get a TQ and a win, and Alex had a bad finish, like a third or fourth or fifth or something like that, I think Drew still had a shot. But Alex led this one from start to finish. And his car looked really good. And he was driving real confident. Drew was also very fast, but just couldn't quite get there. That being said, those two kind of had a lead on the rest of the field. Mason Herrick was in third for most of the time. Dave Alberico came up from Kansas City to get like a tune-up for the INS race next week. He's going too. And Rod Case got this on video. Mason jumped, we have these double doubles. He jumped the track diagonally and landed in front of David. And it was a sick move. It wasn't legal. And I'm glad he gave it back. Mason's got really good character, so I wasn't really worried about it. But it was sick. Like, he landed it. And afterwards, David was like, I can't believe you landed that. He's like, that I actually would have been okay if he would have passed me. And I was like, really? He's like, oh, yeah, that was freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
So Mason, he did, though. He got in front of him, but then he was on the outside of the corner, so David got underneath of him. Then they were side by side coming up, and they touched, and David ended up in the pipe. So Mason waited for him. It was really good sportsmanship by both of them, honestly. And then they raced to the line. David got a podium for 4-wheel. Mason was right behind him. I don't think that affected any of the points for Mason Herrick at all. Owen Vanderbeek was having a pretty good day. Finished 5th. Delaire was up there, but he unfortunately lost a wheel with like a minute left to go. Kind of ended his 4-wheel drive. 4-wheel drive is not Ethan's favorite class on the planet anyway, so I don't think it bothered him that much. Tom Smith got the bump and finished 7th. Mitchell Pavel got the bump, finished 8th. Caden Berdine finished in 9th. And Brandon Carney finished 10th. So not a whole lot of moving around on the lap by lap position graph, just maybe a little bit in the back, but that last lap pass was pretty sick. That was a sweet move by Mason. Never even occurred to me to try to do that there.
I was trying to downside that in 2-wheel, but I didn't. I crossed over it one time in practice before the grip was there, and this is 2-wheel drive,
Mm-hmm.
and my car just flipped over, so I didn't even try it in like racing.
Yeah.
But if the grip was there, it might have done it.
We move on to 40 plus. This one was figured out as far as points go. I was able to get it in 4. Basically, I had a TQ and a second, and Mac had a first in the first round. But the second round, I believe, is where I got a TQ and win, and Mac finished like 3rd. Mm-hmm. So that kind of opened it up. And all those years when I raced, when I won mod 2-wheel, before all the kids got super fast, a lot of it was always points racing. Like, if you're not going to win, get second, or if you're not going to win, get a TQ in second, because then you're even. And I always kind of had that strategy back then was, okay, well, if I'm not going to TQ and win this one, at least snag the TQ somehow, drive your ass off in qualifying and then just stay up there for the main. And it always seemed to work out. You'd have different people winning every once in a while, but then their next race would be like a 4th. And that's kind of what happened here. I just milked that lead. All I had to do was just milk that lead I had, for the next couple of rounds. And because we're only running 5 rounds now instead of 6, it kind of is a little bit easier to do that, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mac just needed to finish in front of Tommy, I think, to get second no matter what. So, Ken Peterson ended up with the win by 0.8 of a second. Mac had a really fast car. His fast lap was a 25.4, which is right there. Mac finished a TQ in a second, so he got 100 for the score. So like I said, all he had to do is finish in front of Tommy. Tommy finished 3rd. David Peevler was 4th. David did qualify 2nd. You could throw a blanket over these guys most of the time. That's how close they were. Then it was Brian Burnt, Brent Riley, Brian Cox, David Fast, Kurt Benson, and then Corey Tannehill. Moving on here. Independent stock buggy. Daniel Bender took this one in 4. And that's pretty impressive considering all the Omaha talent we have in this class now for the kids. I see a lot of future, sponsored drivers somehow, whether it be associated or RC, I see that here as long as they stick with it and they actually want to, because some people don't want to be sponsored. They just want to race. I get that too. I actually appreciate that almost more. Keaton Roddy had the TQ, but it was TJ Williams and Andrew Thomas and Dalton Conrad, the 3 kiddos, that finished 2.2 seconds from each other at the end. So it's TJ with the win, Andrew 2nd, and Dalton 3rd. All 3 of these are going to INS next week, or this week, however you want to look at it, in the independent class. So that's going to be really exciting. And so is Bender, actually. Bender didn't race 2-wheel, but he's going too. So the 4 of them are going to hopefully rock the show over there. Keaton Roddy finished 4th. Jace Peterson came up with his dad, finished 5th. Connor Hausch had a horrible day in qualifying. Probably he should have been in the A period, but we just won't talk about his second qualifier. Finished 6th. Trevor Moss was 7th. Justin Seeby was 8th. Jake Poteet was 9th, and Logan Prismanis was 10th. Logan also got the bump, or not Logan. Justin got the bump. I gave him a set of tires to try because he wasn't running slicks. So for a second qualifier, he went out there and ran it. And he did really good. Moved up a whole bunch of spots, and then he went and got his own. 2-wheel mod. Ethan Delaire from 3rd to 1st. Alex Vanderbeek finished 2nd. All Alex really had to do was finish in front of Drew Rubin King. Same deal as 4-wheel drive. If Drew could have TQ'd and won and had something weird happen to Alex, Drew actually still mathematically had a shot for the overall win. Then I got 3rd.
Yeah.
And I kept my nose clean. I didn't bother anybody. I was patient. And when I saw Mason and Drew kind of crash, and I drove around them with like 2 minutes left to go, I'm standing next to Alex, and I'm like, I think I'm in third, because no, I didn't really hear anything, and 2 laps later, Tommy was like, "Oh, Alex Sturgeon's moved up to third," so I was pretty happy with that. Like,
oh yeah,
I told Emerson,
both you and I started 7th and 8th. Too.
And you finished 4th.
Yeah.
So we moved up quite a bit.
It was like our lap times are just like matching each other. It's like I couldn't gain anything. I wish I would have put on newer tires.
Yes. So I did put on new tires. I did put on new tires.
I think that would have made the difference for me. But
I look at this.
You could hear them just like
chirping
and slapping everywhere. Yeah.
So, for me, this is a confidence booster. It helps me going into this week, knowing that I can compete still with the regular mod guys, not just 40 plus, but the regular mod class. I told Emerson too. I said, look, because he TQ'd expert stock buggy too, and I'm like, that's a big deal, because Riley's really fast. So I'm like, that's a big deal. You need to take that, no matter what happens in the main. You need to take that next week, knowing that that was a perfect race. Emerson hasn't had a perfect race in a while. That was a perfect race. He didn't crash, and he was really fast. He outqualified me. He outqualified you. His time in expert stock would have put him third in mod.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, holy crap, where did this come? But he was bound and determined to do really well in stock buggy. The main didn't. We'll talk about that. But I told him, I said, use that as confidence builder, knowing what you got that you can take with you next week, because next week's going to be even harder. Way bigger field of expert stocks, and they're all just as good as you. So use that. I tried to do that with this. That's why I wanted to race regular mod, knowing that I could, because I'd already won 40 plus. And yeah, dude, it ended up kind of being there. I mean, my max fast lap was faster than mine. So I had a 25.6, but my 97.5% consistency. And then you had a 25.8, but you had 98.4 consistency.
Yeah.
So I think we just sort of made our way through the field, and it was fun racing. When I was with you, it was fun racing. We didn't touch each other. We had good, clean race.
Yeah.
So
98% consistency over 8 minutes is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. So
I wish I was
like
pretty happy with that. I wish I was I've never been like the hot lap guy. I've always been the like really consistent guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like my thing.
Yeah. I hear that. I don't think I've ever been much of a hot lap guy, although lately we seem to put a lot of emphasis on fast lap.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, you and I did good. I won the pot.
Yeah.
But I split it with you.
Then he split it with me because he's a nice guy.
Yeah. So for all of you guys out there wondering how that went, I did win.
The $69.
That was $69.
Never seen so much money in one place in my life.
I was going to bring $70 cash too, so we could have a picture, and I forgot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot all about it. So whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Still got a 4th. I mean, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
From 8th to 4th, from 7th to 3rd, so you're right there. David Alberico was right behind you at the end, though, in 5th. Drew dropped down.
He would reel me in and make a mistake, and then reel me in and make a mistake, and reel me in and make a mistake.
He was behind me for a little bit, and then I saw the red car kind of disappear from my peripheral, and I'm like, oh man, I got a pretty good lead here actually for 3rd. So I just made sure I didn't do anything stupid at the end, because once I saw him was out of there and I heard that you had gotten around him, I'm like, okay, all I got to do is just sort of hold it here, So Dave Alberico 5th. Ruben King dropped to 6th. Mason was right there behind him in 7th. Those two were together racing for 3rd at one point, and then I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I got around one, and then the next corner, the other one crashed. I'm not. Their bodies are so similar. I'm not really sure who it was, but I got around both of them on the same lap, like almost in the same couple corners, and they finished like 1.2 seconds apart. So I know they were racing really close. Brandon Carney, another A main here. But, it was just, I think last year he was making B mains. Now he's been in the A's pretty much the whole time. Brian Burnt got a bump and finished 9th, and then Owen Vanderbeek was 10th. So overall, it was fun main. It was kind of fun being back up there. Whenever I race a regular mod with those guys, I don't even expect podium anymore. Do you? I don't know. Yeah. You do. I mean, did you get a 2nd or 3rd this year? I can't remember.
I think I got a 3rd.
I don't know. Club race days can be fun sometimes, but for summer series, it's like the kids kind of bring their A game, and I don't know. Sometimes it's feast or famine for those guys though too. They'll blow out too.
Yeah.
So I always kind of hope for that.
Right.
Doesn't happen very often, though. I'm not sure what to classify you as.
What?
Well, because you're not really like one of the young kids anymore.
Yeah, I know.
But you're not old. You're stuck in that middle.
Yeah.
It's like
too old to be fast and open modified, too young to run 40 plus.
It's like you're 20 years old.
Yeah.
I
know, right?
I'm just giving you shit.
Oh, I know. It's a weird. I'm a weird age demographic for RC car racing because there's nobody else in their early 30s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's nobody.
Yeah.
Like I'm the only guy there that I know of. Well, other than you. You and I were the two oldest people in the A main and Mod 2 wheel.
And David.
Oh yeah, David.
Alberico is
he older than you?
Think he and I are the same age, or he might even be a year younger.
Oh really?
Which is weird because I
now.
always thought he was older than me. But it turns out I don't think he is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. All right, 4-wheel drive. So 4-wheel drive, kind of the same thing. I won the points in 4. Bradley Peterson had a pretty good lead for 2nd, anyways. So here's Bradley taking the TQ and win. David Peevler qualified 2nd, got there 2nd. We just got a Peter Renault super chat. It says good show with a little OK sign.
Oh.
Tyler Canine got the bump and then ended up 3rd. And Easton McCormick was right there behind him, got the bump, ended up 4th, and it was only 0.8 of a second off of Tyler. So they had a really good battle at the end, both of them coming from the bump up spot. And it was a weird day in lower mains. There were quite a few people that usually are A mainers that were in, I think as far as the C main in this class, especially 13.5 wheeler. So it was kind of weird.
I know John Huss, he qualified 8th in the first round.
Yeah.
Of 13.5 4-wheel drive. And he was like ecstatic. He was telling me about it. He's like, holy cow. Like, I was like, John Huss?
Yeah.
Techno 4-wheel drive?
Yep.
That's a pretty big feat with that car,
Yep.
Because it's heavier than the other ones.
It's heavier. It's a little grumpy on super high bite too.
Yeah.
Can be.
I mean, for 13.5, like mod, it's null and void, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no doubt. Shane Alberico ended up 5th, came up with his dad. Chad Ruben King was 6th. Connor Herrick was 5th. Orlando Martinez dropped down a little bit, was 8th. Andrew Thomas was 9th, and TJ Williams broke out. Can't remember exactly what happened, but I think he hit the pipe at the end of the straightaway. I think that was the race that happened. But he was up there.
No.
He was up there for a little bit. Then let's see. We're almost done here. We got Mini Truggy. So I was wrong all day. Logan Prismanis kind of had it locked up, but I thought he was going for a perfect score, but he was not. So
really?
Yeah, I was talking out of my butt all day. Nobody told me.
Oh.
Yeah. However, David Fast from the 8 to 1st in Mini Truggy.
Yeah, the big mover.
And the crazy thing is I've seen that a few times in Mini Truggy. Matt Robinson happens to do this a lot. He'll qualify poorly, come from the back, and either win or get second. Bryson Pavel's done the same thing. I think it's because these guys are all so close that if you can just get a good start, like anything can really happen.
Mm-hmm.
John Haas was right there behind him to get a win at the last Summer Series race by 0.6 of a second. And I think this is John's highest finish yet.
Oh, really?
So far, I'm pretty sure. Tyler Fleming was 3rd, Jake Poteet 4th, Bryson Pavel, Kurt Benson, Ronnie Wint, Logan Prismanis, Ben Ford, and Matt Robinson. These are all the usual players here in Mini Truggy, which is pretty awesome. And we're still getting sometimes 3 heats of Mini Truggy, even for a Summer Series. So I'm glad this class does not drop off or hasn't dropped off, because
Right.
I'm coming back. I'm gonna race I'm gonna race Mini Truggy probably next year again.
Yeah, I'd like to race Mini Truggy.
I love Mini Truggy.
Yeah.
So probably next year's Pro Tech race I'll have another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fair
I
warning.
wonder if I can get like permission to run one.
Fair warning. Get a VT74. Talk to the guys at Velocity and get a conversion.
They're not making parts for those anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? Who's Tyler what's his last name that runs a
Keel?
Does he have a VT's no from our track
Ronnie?
that runs Tyler. He runs a VT I can't remember if he runs a VT 64 or 74.
Tyler Fleming? I thought he had a Techno.
No, he's borrowing one, but he was
Oh.
running a VT 64 or 74. I think it was the 74.
Oh.
And he broke a tower for it, and they told him that they weren't going to make them anymore.
Oh, dang it.
I guess. I'm not sure.
Oh. Okay.
I guess I'm just that's like secondhand, so I guess Rod and
Well, they're probably having more
Chris
success with the dirt oval.
yeah. Rod and Chris Baumgart could correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
But
Yeah, that's who it is. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. But it's fun. It's fun. I'm coming back.
yeah, I'd race it. It'd be cool. I wish Associated would make one.
Me too. It's kind of like mini, like 8 scale or 18 scale. If Associated came out with a 2-wheel drive version of a B6,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it would explode. Mini racing would go
Yeah.
crazy, especially if they work if it worked as well as the Losi car does, which I'm sure it will or would. It'd be huge, huge. You hear me, Team Associated? Come on, 118 scale mini B6.
Well, they're the ones that I didn't think mini racing really blew up until Associated made the
RC18.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mini T was kind of a novelty thing, but then like Associated made the RC18, and that thing was like a race car.
B6.
I guess the guy that designed it used to work, or he works in NASCAR, or he was a designer for NASCAR or something. Can't remember who designed that car.
B6M
Yeah.
mini. B6M. Come on, you can do it.
Micro.
B6.
That was like micro racing.
Yeah.
Back then.
Okay, expert 2-wheel drive. So I feel pretty terrible for my son, and I just want to explain what I meant on the mic too, because I thought about it afterwards, and I'm like, I probably sounded like a dick there, but basically, Emerson was really stoked about qualifying as well as he did, and in the points he was kind of back there in 5th or 6th, so it didn't really matter what happened today in Buggy. In Truck it did, but in Buggy it didn't really matter that much. We were just using this as a platform to get some confidence for next week. So he TQs, and he led almost all the first lap, and then right before he turned on the straightaway, he turned it in on the pipe. And the marshal came and grabbed his car, but grabbed it kind of by the body and pulled his body off. And then he fumbled with the body to put it back on, and while that's happening, all 10 cars go by. And Emerson's basically he's probably like 3/4 of a lap down at that point. And so he's already pretty frustrated, and I'm pretty frustrated because, like, out of all the things, that's sturgeon luck right there. That's like having your battery die with 30 seconds left to go in a 40 plus mod A main,
Yeah, I think it was actually 15 seconds, but who's counting?
Yeah. So Emerson drove for another couple laps. You tried to put his body on, but Emerson's just like, I'm leaving. So he got his car, and then he basically just tossed it in his truck, and he sped off. And then I'm standing there kind of stunned because I wanted him to finish the race. It's 8 minutes, so you never know. But I understand. At least he didn't like full Alex and like throw his car or smash it or anything like that. And then I said on the mic, I said, hey, can you come finish this race? I'm kind of upset right now. And I just want everybody to know I wasn't upset with the marshal because that happens. I wasn't upset, honestly, at the race itself. I was more upset with my son speeding away in his truck loudly and sort of dangerously, and then I wanted to call him and be like, hey, dude, you need to chill out and don't get in a wreck. That's pretty much what I did. So I just want to explain what I meant. I wasn't directing anything towards the marshal or towards any of the racers or anything like that. It was more about I need to get away from my duties right now and get a hold of my kid, so he didn't do anything stupid.
Right.
So that's what I did. While that was happening, Riley Filbert was out in front and stayed there. So got the lead pretty much on that corner and stayed there. David Peevler finally got slicks on his car and moved up to second and stayed there. And Ken Peterson, another bumper from the back, from the B, drove all the way up there and got third. Bradley Peterson was fourth. Brent Riley was fifth. Easton was sixth. Chad Ruben King was seventh. Tyler Canine was eighth. Connor Herrick was ninth, and then my son finished 10th. But like I said, points-wise, it really didn't matter. So that was a race day. Now I want to talk about points real quick, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll break down the points real fast, and then we'll take a break and get to some questions or comments, and then we'll get out of here. Shouldn't take too long. So if you have a good question or comment, leave it in there. We'll get to it here at the end. I know Peter's got one on there. Okay, we'll start off in how the sheets are just posted here online. So 13.5 four-wheel drive. I ended up first. Bradley Peterson was second. David Peevler was third. He finished 1 point in front of Easton McCormick. So that was a good tight battle. Tyler Canine finished fifth. I think he moved up a few spots there right at the end. Chad Ruben King was sixth. Orlando Martinez was seventh. Connor Herrick was eighth. Ashley McCormick was ninth. And Bender was able to hang on to 10th. And he was 1 point in front of TJ. Honorable mentions, TJ 11th, Brett Nelson 12th, Dalton Conrad 13th, Ken Peterson 14th, and John Haas was 15th. So it was pretty close. There's a couple ties back there for some of the lower positions. Kind of neat how that works out. There were 33 people eligible for a kit at the end, and the kit went to John Haas.
Nice.
The four-wheel drive B6. I'm sorry. B74.2. I got to get that right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I'm writing emails.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stadium truck, Will Brinton, that's you. 404 points, perfect score for the year. Tom Smith was second. Brian Burnt was third, and Emerson Sturgeon was fourth. Emerson finished 2 points behind Brian. He had a huge swing. So basically a 7-point swing from the last A main. So
wow,
the last main mattered because Tommy got the win. Emerson finished where he did, and that was the difference between Emerson finishing second and Emerson finishing fourth. Logan Prismanis was fifth. David Fast was sixth. Justin Stevie was seventh. Tyler Fleming was eighth. TJ Williams was ninth, and Andrew Thomas finished 10th. And he finished 2 points in front of Connor Herrick and Brian Cox back there for 11th and 12th. They tied. Expert Stock had Riley Filbert getting the win. Riley had 3 TQs and wins in a row and a 94 the first round. So it wasn't technically over, but a lot would have... Basically, Riley would have had to have had Emerson's finish for anything to be different. So there you go. Brent Riley was second. Bradley Peterson was third. They were 2 points apart. Then another 2 points back was David Peevler and Ken Peterson. And because David made all the rounds, his throwout score was better than Ken's. Chad Rubin King was sixth. Emerson finished seventh. Tyler Canine was eighth. And Easton McCormick was ninth. And Connor Herrick finished 10th. Independent Buggy. Bender. Again, did not have to run this last one. Finished with 401 points. TJ Williams with 395 was second. Dalton Conrad was third. Logan Prismanis was fourth. Keaton Ratty was fifth. Change the page here. Andrew Thomas was tied with Connor Hausch for sixth and seventh. And Andrew had the better throw out there. Jake Poteet was right behind him in eighth. Then John Haas was ninth. And Justin Stevie finished 10th. And there was, 29 people eligible in Independent Buggy for the kit. Oh, we got to say who mentioned the kit. So the truck went to Tyler Fleming, and then he gave it to Owen Hook in Plex Spec. And then an expert stock buggy, Riley Filbert, won the kit. So that happens sometimes. It's not often, but actually last year it happened too, where a winner also won the kit. So,
oh, really? Who was that?
I can't remember who it was last year, but I know it was somebody. I'll have to go back and look, but it does happen every once in a while, and it happened this year. Not that I don't want him to win. It's kind of cool when it goes to somebody outside of the top 10, because they're all kind of hanging around waiting to see if their name gets pulled out,
Yeah. That's kind of why you stick around and everything. I think it's why you run the whole series. Like,
for
you know
sure.
what I mean? Like, let's say you're, 25th. Well, hey, I enjoy racing and I could win a kit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. I also like especially the summer series crowd, the awards at the end. It's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Like, very rarely is there anybody like all coming up all grumpy and butthurt about where they finished overall, and everybody's cheering and clapping and stuff. It's really a lot of fun. It makes me happy,
Mm-hmm.
There was a race that we did. I think it was a ProTech race where we did these raffles, and I think we were doing a kit, like just one kit, and we sold like, I don't know, 500 tickets or something like that. And like this one guy bought like $150 worth of tickets and didn't win. And he was he was like audibly mad. I'm like, well, I mean, his chance, dude. Sorry.
Didn't the guy that won only bought one ticket?
Something like that. I think it was like $10 worth of tickets or something. I don't know.
I never do that stuff because I never win. Like, I always get so I was like, man, I think I'm gonna win this time. I can feel it. This is gonna be a really good investment. And I never win.
Remember that time I won that Pro 4 truck at the Hobby Haven race?
Remember that time, dude? Did I ever tell this story on the podcast about what I won at the Hobby Haven race?
I won a Dirt Tracks Nitro Vader at the Hobby Haven race, and
dude,
I won a Pro 4 truck at one of the Hobby Haven races, and then I think Emerson. Remember the short course showdown where Emerson's got his name pulled like second and got to choose. It was this year after the first time he did it. He was like third or fourth because the way that it worked was Scotty Ernst would instead of like sticking him to him or whatever, he would take like an hour and a half to do all these raffles, and basically he had a table, and if you were the first one chosen, you got first dibs on whatever was on the table.
Yeah.
And the first year, Emerson was called like third. And he came up, and instead of getting something worth a lot of money, he chose a T-Max plush doll. And like the whole place was laughing because he was like 4 years old. He didn't know any better. But then the next year, the same thing happened. His number was called pretty early, and he grabbed a 22 Buggy.
Yeah.
So
did I ever tell that story on the podcast though about what I won at the Hobby Haven race? And I was last to go, or like second to last. So the way that they would do it at that race is they would save all the big prizes till the end, like for the raffle. So, or like it wasn't a raffle. You got a ticket it was a raffle, I guess. You got a ticket with your entry fee.
Yeah.
And if you got your name pulled first, you ended up getting like, I don't know, a thing of banana lube or some, you know what I mean? Like something you could use.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a big prize. All the big prizes were the last one. So it was like, oh man, I still got a ticket. I could get something really big, So I was second to last. And there was 3 things left on the table, apparently. There was a, what was it? Because Kevin won a charger, and it was one of those high-tech chargers that would do 4 batteries at the same time, man.
Yeah.
There's one. Remember those?
4
or a
batteries
dynamite
at the
charger.
same
I think it was
time.
like the dynamite one. Yeah, 4 batteries at the same time, man. Anyway, it would do 4 batteries at the same time, man. He won that, and that was like a good prize. And then I won what I won, and I'll tell you in a minute. And then the last guy won a 4PK radio, like a Futaba, like top of the line, real nice, like $500 or so prize. I won between those 2 big prizes. My prize was a gift certificate for a free outerwears pre-filter for a fifth scale. For a 5th scale. It wasn't even like to cover the whole thing. It was just for the air filter. And it wasn't even the air filter. It was the outerwears pre-filter that goes over the air filter. Like, that's my luck on giveaways. I couldn't believe it. I even got my somewhere on, like, I think it's one of my profile pictures. It's me holding the gift certificate, giving a thumbs up. But yeah, I was second to last. Like, huge prize, what I got, and huge prize.
Dude,
Couldn't believe it. Devastation.
Last year I figured out that if you when I'm taking the pictures of all the giveaways, that if I have those J Concepts gift certificates sitting there, that you can zoom in on them and get the code and use it.
Yeah, that's what Tommy said.
So
happened to him.
Yeah, so from now on, I don't do that. From now on, I don't take pictures of those gift certificates. I cover it up. Because everybody who got a gift certificate last year, it said that the numbers were already used.
Some people, man.
Dude. Yeah.
Unreal.
Back to points. Vanderbeek got the win. So 400 points. He had only 1 TQ and win. 3 TQs total, but only 1 TQ and win. Ruben King taking that TQ and win last month really kind of made this interesting going down to the final. Ruben King Drew Rubin King and Ethan Delaire were tied in points for second, but Ethan's low score was a 94, and Drew's low score was a 95. So, that could have been tricky because if they both would have had a 94, like if Drew had lost one more spot in the main on Saturday, they would have been tied going to the second. And so then I would have used the second low score, which would have flipped it. It would have been Ethan in front of Drew. So Ethan did what he needed to do. He got that win, but Drew kind of nursed it there at the end. They had a pretty big lead over Mason Herrick in fourth, and then Mason only had 2 points on you for fifth. Aiden Olson didn't come to the last one, but his four were good enough to hang on for sixth. Owen Vanderbeek was seventh. Riley Filbert was eighth. Brandon Carney was ninth, and Tom Smith was 10th. 40 plus Smod had me back on top. So we've had 40 plus 4 years now. It's been Kyle Gannon, me, Mac Vanderbeek, and now me again. And I'm trying to think who turns 40 next. It's kind of weird. We were just talking about it. There's kind of a gap.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Vanderbeek was second. His finish in front of Tommy kind of opened that up by a point or two. Tommy Smith was third. Ken Peterson was fourth. Brent Riley fifth. David Peevler sixth. Brian Burnt was seventh. Brian Cox was eighth. David Fast was ninth. And John Berding was working on his real car. But Caden came down. But he finished out in 10th.
Nice.
And then there's only three of them. So Josh McMullen, Kurt Benson, and Matt Robinson were the other 3 40-plus guys. The Mod Buggy kit, who did that go to?
Brandon Carney.
That's right. Brandon Carney won the 2-wheel drive car. You're right. I forgot about that.
I have never won a kit at the Summer Series, even when I wasn't driving for Associated. I've never won it.
I'm sorry.
I've never won a Charger. Never won anything. Ain't no big prizes for this guy ever. It sucks, kinda, because like I was like every year I was like, all right, that kid right there.
Did you pick a bag?
Huh?
Did you pick a bag when you came up? What'd you get in your bag? Was it anything good?
I got a Tekin t-shirt and I gave it to.
Oh, you got the t-shirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Well, there was because that was the only t-shirt I could fit in a bag.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I gave that away,
Okay.
and then I gave it to Jay Fairchild actually.
Oh, okay.
What was it? No, I always try to pick out a kid like all right, that kid. If I win, I'm gonna give him this car, and I always plan on doing that every year, and it never happens. And it's like, yeah. Anyway, that's all I'll say. That's fine. That's enough.
You want it to happen.
Huh? Yeah, I want it to happen. That's why it never happens. And it's like there's times like even when I wasn't driving for a company and I like needed a new car for a race we were going to, I was like, man, that'd be real nice to win that kit and then have a brand new car to go to this race. Never happens.
4-wheel drive Mod Buggy. Vanderbeek with first place. So this has happened 2 years in a row now, I believe, right?
I think so.
So, it was interesting in the middle, but then Alex kind of pulled away. But it was weird how the same situation could have happened for Drew, but it ended up not being the case. Drew Rubin King was second. Aiden Olson, even though he didn't finish, he wasn't here. His finishes from the first 4 were good enough for third overall. So I have your third somewhere at the store. Maybe I'll see David sometime and give it to him. Mason Herrick was fourth. Owen Vanderbeek was fifth. Ethan Delaire was sixth. Caden Berding was seventh. Tom Smith was eighth. Brandon Carney ninth, and Mitchell Pavel was 10th. And
nice.
then Chris Haida won the kit. And Chris Haida finished last in the points. So there you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's your feel-good story.
There's my
for the
feel-good
weekend,
story.
yeah.
I'm always happy when we do these giveaways and it goes to people that I know are going to probably use the car. You know, it makes it even more fun for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Mini Truggy had Logan Prismanis nursing home a win. So he had his first 3 rounds, TQ win, TQ win, TQ win. But then he had a 93 and he had a 94. But he TQ'd all 5 rounds of the Summer Series. So those bonus points can stack up because that's basically 5 extra points that you wouldn't have had. Well, he finished in front of John Haas by 4 points. So John Haas ended up second with a better tiebreaker over Tyler Fleming. It was a 91 for Tyler and a 95 for John Haas. Jake Poteet, your ProTech race winner, was 4th. Then you had Ronnie Wint, Matt Robinson, Bryson Pavel, Kurt Benson, Jake Conrad, and Josh Benson getting the 10. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dylan Haas finished 1 point away from Josh for a plaque.
Really?
Yeah. 1 point outside of 10th.
Every point matters.
I know. Ben Seidlich, who finished 13th, took home a B74.1 kit. So that's pretty awesome. You can use it on carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Plexback, our final points. Grayson Stevie won this one in 4. Ryan Nemec had a bunch of TQs this year and finished 2nd overall. And Ariana Smith got 3rd. Then it was Alex Eichler, Bentley Ratty, Isabella McMullen, Emily Bagley, Levi Voth, Lily Kaziski, and then Stella Murillo. I'm pretty sure she made every AMA and finished 10th overall. Got that final placard. And who won the kit here? Oh, Steve Eichler. Steve Eichler won. We had an RB10. So they sent an SR10 dirt oval car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, let's trade that out. So I swapped it for an RB10. And Steve Eichler, who finished 13th, won the kit.
Oh, nice.
So I like that. It was a good year for kits, honestly. Like,
yeah,
nothing against the top 3 in every class, but if you're in the top 3, I mean, you're already winning.
You already
something.
won something.
You already won something, you know? So I thought that was pretty rad. That's a really good year. Like I said, the past 2 years, I think, have been the most well attended we've had. The Summer Series is one of those, I've said this before, it's one of those things where I don't even worry about it, the turnout for any of our series races anymore, because they're always good.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the last 2 years, 21 and 22, were especially good. Even the COVID year.
21 was good because people wanted to race.
Yeah, even the COVID year was good when we could come back, even though we had limit participation. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. All the way through the Techno Series, we had to do that. Okay, well, maybe a pivot break real quick, and then we'll get to chat. There's not much in there, but we'll go through it, and then we'll get out of here. I'm gonna go put on a sweater. Okay.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah!
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is David Olson with Pivot Lending Group. Today we have Brian Tataviano, who is the CEO and owner of Pivot Lending Group. Brian, thanks for joining.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
For the listeners, the 5 C's of lending: credit capacity, capital, conditions, and character. So those are kind of the 5 blended. But Brian and I work with a lot of financial institutions, whether it's credit unions or community banks, that do a lot of character lending. As things change and pivot in the near future, I think there's opportunities for people that are listening that you may see something on TV or on the radio or on a podcast or something like that that says, hey, we're XYZ mortgage company from all across the United States. Call us, boom, boom, boom. But I think if you're in one of those situations, before you start to look at maybe programs that are coming up to help put you in a position to purchase the home, that you maybe reach out to your financial institution, if it's a community bank or a credit union, because there is a lot of character lending that still hangs with those people, goes a long way. I mean, we do a lot of originating for credit unions and community banks. We always have. And I'm hoping that the credit unions that still have the spirit of the credit union, there are some credit unions that are larger than most banks that I know. But some of the smaller credit unions that are the epitome of that spirit are there to help.
Well, credit unions never engaged in subprime lending as defined by the industry. They never did it. What they did was common sense loans. If they had been a member for 20 years and they got a divorce and their credit score went down, they would still look at a loan, a car loan, an equity loan, whatever it was, because they had the relationship. And that character piece, albeit subjective, it's a big part.
Yeah.
It's a big part of how credit unions and community banks, for that matter, how they lend. It's about the relationship. It's about working both sides of the balance sheet, which is assets and liabilities, which is the complete reverse for the financial institution. Your asset is their liability and your liability is their asset. So if you can swing, if you're comfortable with the payment, buy a house. Because long term, it doesn't matter what today does. It doesn't matter what rates are at today. You can refinance very easily from a 30-year to a 30-year. Equity prices, historically speaking, take all the noise out, trend upward. May not be 18% per year, but it will increase as far as value is concerned over a long period of time. One of the best forms of creating wealth is buy-in through the equity in your home. I don't suggest that you go out and you buy a ton of investment properties, but a primary residence is yours. It's a good way to be able to justify. And I know that's easier said than done, but to Dave's point, as the market cools on the real estate side, 3% down, 5% down mortgages will be looked at again. You won't have to go in as a cash buyer. You can go in with lower down payment. But over the grand 10, 15, 20-year period of time, owning a home is a phenomenal investment.
Let me know if I can help. Give me a call, 402-881-5951. Shoot me a text. Just make sure that you put your name on there and the best way to reach you, whether it's via text or email. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
We just got a super chat from David Fast. Drive to Hoosier Energy Drink Fund. And I was actually thinking about that because remember when we went to Adrenaline and there was no kickstart from about Illinois east, and you were
hurting.
I was hurting.
You were going into vending machines at truck stop or at rest stops and stuff.
Yeah, we found
one. We found one. They had purple, and you're like, "Ew, purple, yuck."
That's true. We finally found one at an Ohio Turnpike one, and it was these things. Listen, these things were under $2 before all the price increases. Now they're 2 for $4 just about everywhere here. The truck stop kickstart price was like $4 and something, but I was just like, I haven't had one in a week. Like I've got to drink one of these. So here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to, we have this cooler at the Plex and I'm going to grab it. And then I'm going to go to Quick Trip and Casey's, maybe another Quick Trip because they usually have them. And I'm going to stock up on these things and put them in the cooler with ice. And that's going to be my stash just in case there are no kickstarts near Hoosier. Because for me, this is the key right here, in my opinion, for me. This is it right here.
I don't know how you drive on that stuff. I can't drink a beer. I can't have an energy drink. I can't even drink coffee and still drive an RC car. I have to be all natural. I think it's because I'm just jacked up so naturally, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to explain, but like My dad used to drink coffee. My dad still drinks coffee. The funny thing is my dad claims to be Mormon and he drinks coffee. So whatever. But not claim, that came out wrong. My dad's a Mormon, but he drinks coffee. Black coffee, my dad, no sugar, no nothing, just straight black coffee. No uncaffeinated. It had to be just black coffee. Mugs, just stained black coffee mugs in our house all the time. You know. Anyways, this is my black coffee right here. This.
Yeah. Emerson's not going to be able to drink one of those someday. Like, my dad used to drink those.
My dad used to drink those. It sucks. Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's a dad drink.
Mm-hmm.
My dad drinks coffee, but he puts like cream and sugar and stuff in it.
See,
I was like, ugh.
So when I the first time I actually had coffee, because it's kind of that reason, I was like, I don't want to drink coffee. My dad drinks coffee. First time I had coffee though was a mocha coffee. Before Starbucks or any of these other places, Scooters or any of these other places near here opened. Can't remember where I had it. It might have been a Baker's. Baker's had like a coffee thing for a little while. Maybe I had it there. Anyways, it was really good. And I was like, I'll drink coffee if there's chocolate syrup in it. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh,
yeah.
I remember I had it at. There was when I was in college, there was a place right over here downtown called Stage Right. And if you were a poet or a creative writer or a singer or anything like that, Stage Right was the place to be. And my girlfriend, pre-Gretchen girlfriend, and I used to go there and listen to really bad poetry and really bad music. And I had my first mocha there, and it was delicious. That's right. I remember that now. It's not there anymore, I don't think. While we were in break, real quick, I had a text from my wife. We haven't done one of these in a while. First text. Do you have any electrical tape downstairs? And I said, no, I don't think so. I don't really use E-tape for anything. Then she goes, I've seen you use electrical tape. And I'm like, nope, never use electrical tape at home. So then she gives me an upside down frown emoji. Then
what's she electrical tape for?
I don't know. I'm going to find out. And then I just got this, and I think it's because I asked her to try to send something funny that was on her mind during the show. But here it is. You ready? Why is it normal now and accepted for men to carry purses?
I don't know.
And I just texted back. I'm like, what? I'm like, why do you have an issue with dudes and purses? Purses have been around for a while. Are you a pursophobe? I haven't heard back from her since. That was just a few minutes ago, actually.
It sounds really scripted.
I know.
God dang it. My wife got home and she let the cat I don't let downstairs during the show out downstairs.
The older one?
She always tries to jump up on the table and rub on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maui.
All right, let's get to the chat. I'll scroll up here.
Well, I got my clutch rebuilt right here. I was doing that. This is what I was working on during the show. I was rebuilding this clutch
for your go-kart.
Then I got these tires on Saturday. I left during after the first round of qualifying and got tires for it. They look really cool. They look like a late model tire.
Where do you get those at?
I bought these from Uncle Frank's in Omaha. Huh. They were the only place that had them.
Oh.
But yeah, they're already mounted and everything. It's like, all right, I'll take them. So yeah, they look cool. Like they look like little late model tires, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like the tread and everything on them. Like I've never driven a go-kart with tread, or well, I used to, but
they look like those Proline oval tires. What are they? Chain links?
No, or I don't know what they are.
They look like those. Same pattern. I think they call them chain links.
Yeah, I mean they modeled them off of the
Yeah.
Hoosier tires.
John Haas was on here, Jason Haley, Peter Renault, Steve RC, Cameron Hale. Peter Renault's mains were canceled because of rain yesterday.
Ah, Peter.
You know, I used to actually like that when I raced eight scale, because I always qualify high and then blow out in the main because my stuff would never hold together. So anytime that we had a rained out main day, it was almost like a relief. I was like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to race this race. So I think there's a couple RC Pro Series races I finished second in because I didn't have to run the main.
Yeah.
Oh, I just snorted. Steve RC, what? New shirts? Are you not going to wear original HobbyPlex shirts the whole time? Probably not. I know a lot of you guys. So we have this huge group from our place going to the Hoosier RC. I'm going to do that again, but HobbyPlex. So, so I will have a HobbyPlex shirt, but I also like to wear normal shirts when I'm not racing. So I was short. I haven't had any new clothes in so long that Gretchen's like, well, let's just try to find you some t-shirts. So I went and got a t-shirt. So I got a Batman shirt, which I was going to wear today. And I forgot. I didn't forget. It's in the wash. And then I got like a Pink Floyd band shirt.
Oh, nice.
So whatever. Lollygag. Lollygag is one word, says Peter Renault. Oh, the thumbnail is still part 2 of B64 build, by the way, for our for this show tonight. I'll go in and change that.
Oh, nice.
Tom says he loves catching us live. That's pretty awesome. Tom Baker. My sister says my stress dreams put me back working customer service at Hy-Vee. I was at QT today, getting 2 kickstarts and their breakfast food, and I have a friend, Brandy. She actually used to be my neighbor behind us, and she is that my phone? That is my phone. Somebody at QT was interviewing somebody, and she's like, Alex will work for us, and the guy like literally offered me an interview, and I was like, no, absolutely not. I hate people. You don't want me here. You wouldn't want me to work here. Too many people around. Cameron says, luckily, he can't remember most of his dreams. We talked about that. What's up with them requiring latest firmware for INS this weekend? I have no idea what they're talking about.
I heard that it has to do with a speed control brand that had timing in it and blinking.
Oh, really? Well, I have just stocks in all mine, so that's not going to matter.
I don't think that would matter, but there's like a pro ESC, or you know what I mean, like a pro version of an ESC that would have timing built into the firmware or something like that. That reminds me of the old Tekin speed controls that would do that, like for Trans Am, like for whatever reason with their speed control, like they let like Roar or somebody let them have so many degrees of timing or something to make it work. It was like in the early days of brushless, or to make it competitive, and that reminds me of that.
Well, remember Orca when what the Nats I RMT'd at as scorekeeper, Orca speed controllers were found to be illegal. Their stock programs had boost in them. And,
oh, really?
And they caught it, and basically they had to disqualify like a whole bunch of people at this race. It was crazy.
Huh.
Then they like banned them for like a year or something like that. I can't remember how that went, but that was pretty stressful. Another reason why I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. Lucas Chassau was on here. John Haas says P&B saw one poor guy stand in line with 5 radios. See, that's a dick move. I've always hated that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, mainly because I've never really had anybody hold my radio for me. But
yeah,
I would see, the thing that I always hated too is like if you had a guy that's like holding the place in line, too. Like it should just be the driver the whole time. Like I don't have a parent that can come to the track with me,
Mm-hmm.
to hold a place in line for me. And I always hated that. Like, all right, Dad, hold my place in line, and like he'll watch my run from the line, and then or watch the guys run from the line. Then he's done running. Well, his dad's like 3/4 of the way through the line by the time it's his turn,
Yeah.
or like his practice or his dad's practice, and then he just gets out of line and lets his kid in line. Like that's stupid too.
Yeah.
So not as bad as the radio thing, but still sucks.
Yeah. Jackson Anderson says he's getting his e-buggy soon. Because that's down there in Texas. It seems like there is no 10 scale.
No.
Okay, here's one we can get to real quick. Peter Renault, what neutral range setting do you run on your ESC? I turned off the transmitter one.
Neutral, I run 6% deadband.
Yeah, I'm with you. Some of the Hobby Wing comes stock at 9%, but I always turn it to 6.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked my neutral to be pretty short. I've never liked it to be a long deadband.
Yeah. Yep. I always run 6. I never changed that.
Can Peter put 0.2 LTC gears in the 0.1 gearboxes? I think so. I don't think the actual.
Like the diff.
I don't think the
housing.
diff cup has changed, right?
I don't think so. I think you can just throw those gears in the.
Yeah, because you can buy them separately, and I thought
the housing,
because they originally came out before the B74.2 came out, so you were supposed to take those and put them in there.
Yeah, because I know Ethan had those in his 0.1. So yeah, yep. Confirmed.
Tom Baker says changing over to dirt oval. He's got a good shot at making the A main. And then he says he's 40 with 22 years extra experience, which means he's 62.
That's cool though. Oval's cool.
Yeah. Why don't we carry kickstarts at the Plex? I've asked about this. Apparently, you can't buy. Like they come in 12 packs, but you can't buy the 12 packs separately. Is how they do it. So we buy everything at like Sam's Club for the store. Mm-hmm. So we would have to we get monsters in cases. But apparently they don't sell Kickstarter. There's no barcode to scan for a Kickstarter in a case. That's why we don't do it. I always thought about maybe contacting Pepsi and seeing how cheap it was to get stuff from them instead.
Like you just wouldn't be able to scan the UPC on the can?
Right. Every single can would have to be rung up individually.
Oh.
So
I gotcha.
There is no bulk price for Kickstart. Huh. That's why. At least not from like Sam's Club or Costco or wherever we're getting our stuff from now.
Yeah.
Tom says he used to drink Monster Energy drinks and still they started giving me hair stands. Yeah, I'm not a big Monster. Monster makes me shake. So you'll hardly ever see me with a Monster. Now, their Monster coffees are different. Must not be as much caffeine in them because Monster coffees are pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can taste the sugar. I don't know about you, but it's like drinking pure sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gluing anything new for Hoosier before we get there? I have a whole bunch of my mod buggy tires, and my tires are done. I got to make one more new set for Emerson and one more new set for his truck, but I think I'm going to hold off because I'm going to try to get some stiffer foams. I don't have any of the stiff foams. And I
want those.
I might refoam a couple of my other ones. Does Will have a blue turtle shell helmet for go-karting?
No.
And I think that's it. John Haas says the only time we held radios was when we had to pee because we were standing in line for 45 minutes.
Yeah. So, I don't blame you there. I mean,
yeah.
That's fine. If you're coming back to get...
Yeah, if you were already in line. If you were already in line, you got to go poop or pee, and you're forgiven for that.
Yeah, that's fine. Or if you say Spotsy's backsies.
Spotsy's backsies.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what Jaworski does now. Justin Seavey just asked if Steve Jaworski still works for Pepsi. I can't remember if he does or not, but I don't know. Lathan Raymond used to work for Pepsi, and he would bring me a whole 12-pack every month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was great back then.
Yeah.
So, all right, we better go because the widows are on again after us, so we gotta get out of here.
It sounds like a 80s punk band.
Yeah.
Is it Hot Widows? That's the name of the podcast?
What's the name of the podcast, Richard?
Hot Widows Club.
It is Hot Widows. Okay, good. I couldn't remember what it exactly was.
The Hot Widows Club. Like it sounds like an 80s punk band name.
Kind of.
Like an all like instead of whole. Like that's what Courtney Love's band would have been called, as the Hot Widows.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
But whole works too.
Yeah, hole works too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Giant hole where you want to shoot yourself with a shotgun. All right, yeah, we better go. This show brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. Mention our show, get 0.125 off an interest rate or $500 lender credit. Mention our show to Don Zoller or Aiden Olson's dad if you go through with a home loan or a refinance, which I was listening a little bit to the Pivot break, and I agree. Buy a house.
Yeah.
Real estate, baby.
Yeah, don't rent. Buy now. Yeah.
Yeah, buy right
I'd buy
now.
a house if I were you.
Prices are about to get low, I think. I think they're probably going to come down a little bit here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think this winter is going to be really not scary, but just my own personal feeling. I think gas prices are going to go through the roof here in a little bit again.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to suck some life out of everything. So, not to leave the show on a big downer, but that's just what I think. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to go. I got to get on the bike and go home. I'm actually going to work on some stuff tonight before I go to bed. And try to get organized and get packed.
Sounds good.
So, thanks, dude. No show next week. It's the first Monday of the month, and I honestly don't want to do one next week.
Yeah, you'll probably be on your way home still.
Yeah, we'll still be well, hopefully we'll be home. Hopefully we'll be home by then. But yeah, we're gonna leave Sunday night, get as far as we can, stop at a hotel somewhere, drive the rest of the way back.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I'm responsible for Emerson and Alex Vanderbeek now, so got to make sure it's safe.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, that's it for me.
Cool.
All right,
we'll see you guys later.
Yep.
Thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you.